You know when you tell your boyfriend to leave, but you don't mean it? And then he actually leaves. You know when you tell your boyfriend to leave, but you don't mean it? And then he actually leaves.
Welcome back to another episode of Manfulous. Today, we're going to discuss the true nature of women and how women feel entitled to royal treatment. In the video clip, you just saw an example of a woman crying her eyes out saying how she told her man to get lost, and then when he actually left her, she says she didn't really mean it for real. I mean, women really think maybe men are mind readers. I don't understand how, if the roles were reversed here, the woman would have done the same thing, and maybe even something more dramatic. Why are women so entitled? Why do they expect to be given the benefit of the doubt in all situations? Have you ever questioned why so many women feel entitled in general? Men are supposed to do everything for them, even in the so-called age of equity and equality that we live in today. It almost seems as though they believe they have a right to certain things from men. I mean, it begins with the very first exchange. The man is the one who should approach the woman when a guy and a girl see each other and appreciate what they see. When she plays hard to get, the male is meant to come up with a way to grab her attention. She anticipates the man approaching her and that he will do so bearing presents, praises, lots of attention, desire, and lust for her. Then, it's the guy who's supposed to ask her out on a date. It's the guy who's supposed to figure out the perfect date, arrange everything, make sure he arranges the reservation, and then ensure he has a comfortable ride to pick her up and drive her around. Then, it's the guy who's supposed to pay for the date. It's the guy who's supposed to pay for the drinks, for the gifts, and for anything else. If he dares to ask if she can split the bill, he will be immediately judged as some miserly coward who wants a female to pay. After they've been to the date, it's the guy who's supposed to make the move and give her the first kiss. It's the guy who's supposed to make the move in bed and lead her, while the girl still plays hard to get, and yet, expects to be treated like royalty. Men are expected to take the lead. Plain and simple. Somewhere along the line, I think everyone must have thought about why women are always the ones who expect everything to be done by the man. I mean, even in long-term relationships, the guy is supposed to do the tough housework and provide for the entire family. Where did the woke feminists go now? What happened to equality, right? But the question is, why is it that women expect everything from a man, especially when all they can do now is talk about equality and how men have oppressed them and controlled them? It's true that modern women have become too entitled. I commend you for making one of the best choices you could ever make if you are not considering dating anytime soon. More than anything else, stories about a happy wife and happy life have ruined men. There are two things you can do when reality hits you in the face. Either you deal with it or you cry about it. The latter is preferred by MGTOW males since they don't like to impose their opinions on others, let alone employ social engineering to influence women or other men. Even if a lot of people can't believe that you can make decisions that don't violate anyone's rights since they are so irrational. Try as you might, you can't waste time persuading them of anything. Leave them alone and focus on surrounding yourself with positive influences. Why do I even say this at all? Because one of the greatest obstacles for contemporary males to overcome in order to achieve in the world today is social engineering. The system encourages men to be passive and placid, to pay their taxes and to accept less than they are entitled to. This explains why the body positivity movement is so popular right now. A male who has the same health problems as a woman cannot be featured on the cover of a magazine. In reality, it would be mocked. I won't say that women will accept any male if I know that their nature is hypergamy. I'm not into promoting promiscuity in any manner, even though certain modern women may be promiscuous and you can simply convince them to come to your place. When I say that the system wants you to settle for less than you are entitled to, especially in the case of women, I really mean it. Women who don't meet the required standards for beauty on the inside and out, etiquette, or even a past are called names. But when a woman seeks to date other guys, it is praised. Men have been duped into thinking that women are some type of reward simply for being feminine for a very long time. This has received more attention than ever, particularly in light of some ideologies that support so-called women's empowerment. Men are becoming more and more tired of that, and they would rather choose an alternative road than follow unhelpful social norms. I'll talk about a few of the justifications they use to make you think that women are fantastic in all they do. Men in particular are being led to believe that women with baggage make for ideal romantic partners. Regardless of whether you identify as a man, you may have long since come to the conclusion that making excuses is unmanly and that you must put in the effort to achieve your goals. Your circumstances, history, or upbringing are irrelevant. You simply complete the task at hand. Except for your mother, the majority of women don't care about your troubles. Men must take it gradually and climb the success ladder one step at a time if they're to bear the burden of performance and output. Men who desire to excel in life rarely waste time on women, instead choosing to concentrate on their projects. In fact, many guys are so dedicated to their craft that women are no longer relevant to them, which is a very good strategy. Another belief that society accepts but does not consider is that women can obtain any entitlements they desire, even if they do not merit them or have put as much effort into earning them as men have. It's almost as if women's entitlement is systematically promoted by society, giving free license to women to expect everything to be handed over to them without having to work for it in any way. The only qualification needed for this is that the person has to be female, and all of society will completely ensure their full support. The fact that women feel entitled might be understandable from some aspects, but the fact that they feel too entitled, which means they feel entitled just because that's how it is the topic of discussion and debate here. And it is even more so because society has jumped on the woke feminist bandwagon that calls for equality in every aspect of life, and yet, still continues to support women to feel entitled to everything a man does, earns, and produces is just perplexing, to say the least. I hope that women realize the hypocrisy with which they live, expecting everything to be taken care of on one hand, and then marching the streets with banners for equality on the other. But one thing is certain. The main weapon modern women have and employ against men is emotional manipulation. They have been accustomed to it since they were teenagers and will keep using it till they pass away. They will attempt to manipulate your feelings in order to get what they want because, as we all know, they believe they are entitled to it. They'll try to persuade you to do things like give them gifts, agree to let them see other people, move closer to where they work, and accept whatever it is they want you to believe. It goes on forever. Also, it commonly works on frail males. We all know that they are primarily after one thing, and because of this, they will tolerate abuse for the sake of this one thing alone. As a result, they unwittingly or actively fall for women's manipulative strategies. It is therefore recommended for men to stay away from such women who, as you are aware, would take advantage of and manipulate you in order to fulfill the demands they feel entitled to. If you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel by pressing the bell icon for more content from Manfulness.